Thank you, Karine. Why do you think it is that 83% of people polled by the Wall Street Journal say the economy is poor or not so good?
Now, Karine, if you had prepared for this question, you would know there are three possible answers. Why do 83% of the people polled by the Wall Street Journal think that the economy is bad or not good? One, well, yeah, the economy's not in great shape at the moment for XYZ reasons, and we're working on it in XYZ ways. Two, well, that's just people's opinion. In fact, the economy's doing fine. Look at data XYZ. Three,
you are fake news.
So when it comes to consumer confidence, is what you're talking about there, we know that can reflect concern and uncertainty about higher prices. People feel the effect of high prices when they go to the grocery store and they feel they're up their gas tank, which the president understands very personally when he was growing up, and understanding how when prices elevate even just a bit, how much that can hurt a family, how much that can really affect someone's household.
Oh, don't poo-poo a nickel, Lisa. A nickel will buy you a steak and kidney pie, a cup of coffee, a slice of cheesecake, and a newsreel, with enough change left over to ride the trolley from Battery Park to the Polo Grounds.
I don't know why she needs to look at her notes so often when all she's saying is people struggle when prices go up, and the president understands this.
But the fact is, we are in a fundamentally different place compared to when the president took office and compared to this time a year ago. And so, during this presidency, people felt uncertain about the economy generally, but they actually felt as good about their personal financial situation as they ever have, according to the Federal Reserve survey, with nearly 80% of adults reporting that they are financially comfortable. So that matters as well.
Oh, the Federal Reserve did a survey as well, so it's fine. Apparently they're fine. People are worried about the economy, according to, journalists and newspapers and liars, fake news. But the Federal Reserve says people think things are all right. So who are you going to believe? Some wacko journalist or the Federal Reserve who says everything's fine?
But to the point about, you're saying that people feel good about their personal financial situation. High gas prices, people can't get baby formula, the supply chain is messed up, everything is more expensive. Where's the good part?
It is actually unfucking believable, the response that she is giving. The legitimate concerns, the stress, the sleepless nights of millions of people across the USA and around the world being brushed off by this, frankly, incompetent Washington spin doctor. Yeah, you say people are worried, and we get that, but according to the Federal Reserve, it's not that big a deal, it's fine.
Karine, back here? Yeah, so you've said that we're in a stable economic, or we're transitioning to a stable economic growth. The Treasury Secretary also testified today we're going to a stable economic growth. What exactly is a stable economic growth?
The question for me isn't really so much what is stable economic growth. That's really what it says on the tin. My question would be, what is a transition to stable economic growth? Because that's actually what they said. Are we in a period of stable economic growth? Is the economy growing stably? No. We're in a period of transition to stable economic growth. The economy is not growing stably. It's wildly out of control. But at some point in the future, that will not be the case. We're in transition.
I think the way that we're looking at it is just the data, just what we have seen in this past year.
Yeah. I think if you look at the data, definitely the data would suggest that we're in a transition to stable economic growth and not in stable economic growth. Definitely in transition at the moment. We're transitioning.
I think people forget what the president inherited when he walked in. You had 20 million people who were collecting unemployment benefits. You had unemployment was at more than 6%. And the work that he did with the American Rescue Plan, getting that done, and Democrats, only Democrats voting for it, helped get the economy moving, helped get the economy growing.
The last 2 years are going to be so bloody difficult for people like us that lived through it, to explain to our children, to explain to our grandchildren. History textbooks are going to get it all wrong, because it's just so unbelievable how the people who are living through it can't see the reality. You cannot talk about the levels of unemployment or the situation that that Biden inherited from Trump, or the rate at which economies are growing or shrinking in different countries around the world, without the nuance, without the acceptance of what happened in the last 2 years. What Biden inherited from Trump was not realistic. Those levels of unemployment were not real, right? The jobs that were being created in the final few months of Donald Trump's presidency were not being created. It was people going back to work, being allowed to go back as jobs, as the economy, as schools reopened, right? And not sitting at home receiving government money. So what did the Democrats do when they arrived? They spent more money. They told people that they needed to continue to close their businesses. They continued to encourage schools to remain closed. They encouraged people to stay at home. So the fact that Karine Jean-Pierre thinks it's good spin to tell people that only the Democrats wanted to enforce those policies is madness. It's a lack of self-awareness that boggles the mind.
And so the way we see it is that we are in a strong place. The U.S. economy may grow faster this year than China's economy for the first time since 1976.
Well, I bloody hope so. Karen, because, hopefully we are in a transition to a period of economic growth. The economy may grow faster than China's this year. It may. Don't know. Might. It could. Possible.
With the right policies, we are confident that the U.S. can transition from recovery to stable, steady growth and bring down inflation without giving all of these historic gains that I just laid out. 8.7 million new jobs in this past year and a half.
It's amazing when anything goes right, it's because politicians just leave it alone. It's like, yeah, you can go back to work now. Oh, look at that, 8.7 million new jobs. Well, I never. Let's start taxing them.
Is that GDP growth like under the Obama administration, 1.5%, 1.8% for the year?
I'm not going to get into like the specifics of GDP growth.
Yeah, come on, let's not get bogged down in statistics and numbers and shit like that, you boffins.
But what I can say is the numbers, the data that we have seen just on job growth, for 390,000 jobs in the month of May, what we have seen is historic numbers. We are in a historic place in history.
Historic point in history, a historic day in a historic week in the historical museum, hypotenuse, histrionic personality disorder.
Historic place right now as we look at where we are with the economy. Very, very different than where we were a year ago. And that is because of what the president has been able to do with a comprehensive plan to get people vaccinated, with a plan to get people back to work. Remember, and I know some of you know this, schools were closed when he entered the administration. Businesses were closed when he entered the administration. The economy was in crisis. We are in a different place. That's how we see this.
I don't want to nail anything. I don't want to nail my colours to the mast any more so than I have done already. But it was Democrat-run states that closed their economies and their schools forever because of COVID. Let's compare Florida and California, two very comparable states. Ask someone who spent the last 2 years partying in Florida what they think about coronavirus on their fifth margarita. Corona, what? And then head over to LA and ask Los Angeles resident what they fucking think about it, because I can guarantee there'll be two very, very different answers.
Real quick one, are we in recession then? Because the Atlanta Fed GDP now looks at a snapshot, it's 0.9%. It's gone down from 1.9 to 1.3 for the second quarter. 2 quarters in a row of negative growth is a recession. So are we there, and how close?
Look, the way that we see it is we have the right tools, and we are in a strong place to continue to be in this transition where we have stable growth, and that is what's important. And so that's going to be our focus. Oh, thank you, guys. I do have to go. I really do have to go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
So basically, don't worry, guys. The economy is in very capable hands. Did you see that massive wad of notes she was carrying? It's sorted. It's fine. Americans, calm down. Karine Jean-Pierre is, if anything, she's at least making me feel a lot more calm about the world. I know I don't live in America, right? But, we follow suit. If America goes well, Europe tends to be fine as well. So, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. We're all worried, but Karine Jean-Pierre says it's fine. They've got the right tools. So just chill, chill out.